Never worn this before. It's more like a dead possum than a wig. You gotta get the ponytail for it. That's it. In the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another. A decent respect. Happy 4th, everybody.
Happy 4th. Happy 4th of July.
Here we are with Mr. Jefferson, who is visiting with us in Idlewood Beach today. And
The Monticello of Michigan.
the Monticello. Once a year he arrives at Idlewood Beach from his home in Virginia and comes to Monticello, Michigan to visit with us. And I have some questions for you today. So tell me, when did you first start dressing like Mr. Jefferson?
Oh, probably as soon as I started dressing. So I have a long history with Thomas Jefferson. These parades at Idlewood started 12, 14 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I think my wife came up with the idea of marching as Thomas Jefferson. And her brother had given me this plaque some years earlier when I was working on a book about Jefferson for Christmas or birthday. Birthday, I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
But I've had it ever since, and so I carry this in the parade.
Oh, yeah.
This is the parchment version, not Jefferson's handwriting, but signed by John Hancock and all the delegates.
Okay. All right. Did your wife help you find the clothing, and tell me about what's different about the clothing from this year?
Well, usually I dress in black with a white wig, but the wig got kind of ratty, and I thought, well, I'll do a Benjamin Button version this year and try to look younger. You know the story about Benjamin Button. He starts as an old man, and he has some kind of disease and gets younger. Don't we all wish? So I got this red wig, which I ordered from eBay, that looks, kind of like a dead possum, but it's supposed to be Jefferson's hair, or look like it. And I put on a suit to match, merely made this jabot and the cuffs. So that's my interpretation of Jefferson.
At a younger age. And
At a younger age.
The black is at an older age?
This jacket comes from Stafford Essentials.
But when you dress in black with white hair, that's Jefferson as
president.
As president.
Yeah, he had red hair as a young man, and it turned white while he was president, just as Obama's hair is turning white now. The job is not stress-free.
Yeah.
So he didn't have much hair at all by the time he died.
So tell me, what does it feel like when it's 93 degrees outside in Idlewood and you're marching?
Well, this year it's not so bad because it's cooler. But other years it's been beastly hot. And, I can identify, when I marched in the parade with all this hot garb, with our founding fathers, because they didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
Philadelphia was beastly hot the summer of '76.
And Williamsburg was no better.
Williamsburg was even hotter, farther south.
Yeah.
And, they didn't have showers or bathtubs like we have today. I mean, they took a bath once a month, maybe, whether they needed it or not. And they drank a lot because they had no fresh water,
Oh, yeah.
very little of it. So that was, how they
Yeah.
kept their liquid in their body. I would think that they would become dehydrated,
Yeah.
but I probably the drinking covered up a lot of the smells.
Yeah.
They weren't as aware of it.
Yeah. Are there other places where you march or where you appear as Mr. Jefferson?
No, Idlewood isn't exclusive. Oh, as far as marching.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, as
Yeah,
marching.
yeah.
Yeah.
My agent says I should limit my appearances to
yeah.
Idlewood. Not because I'm in demand, it's because I'm just not that good.
And-
I've done a couple of character interpretations of him for Hasp and then the one last night at Freedom Village, but that's the last one. So, as I say, I'm not very good.
Oh.
So I'm giving it up.
Where did you told us about where your copy of the Declaration came? That one was a gift.
Gift
that,
from my
that
brother-in-law,
plaque.
right.
But what is the copy that you have now? in front
Well,
of
I
you?
stole this from the National Archives. It's Jefferson's original draft,
Oh,
and it's interesting. It's in his handwriting, and it shows corrections he made as he reviewed his copy with John Adams and Benjamin Franklin, who were on the committee with him to draft the Declaration. The word self-evident was inserted in place of sacred and undeniable. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That's a change that Dr. Franklin made.
yeah.
It may even be in his handwriting. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But now there's a controversy over the punctuation, which you told me about. The New York Times ran an article on it yesterday. It said that in the parchment version, there's a period after the phrase, the pursuit of happiness. That the sentence reads that among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, period, that to assure these rights, governments are instituted among men. So the question was, are these two separate thoughts or are they related?
Yeah.
In Jefferson's draft, these are clearly related thoughts. One leads to the other, and the clue for that is that he does not use a period after the phrase pursuit of happiness. Instead, he uses a semicolon. And then the phrase that follows, that to secure these rights, the word that is lowercase.
Okay. So it's a continuous sentence.
It's all one sentence. Therefore,
Yes.
Jefferson's meaning is clear, so I don't know what all the fuss is about over what his intention was.
Yeah.
It's clear from the draft.
Yeah.
It's the guy who did the parchment that messed it up. Also, the word inalienable.
Oh, yeah.
It came out unalienable.
Oh.
So he would have qualified as a proofreader for the Holland Sentinel.
Yeah. Sharp man. How many times do you think you have read the Declaration of Independence?
Oh, at least once a year, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be that hard to figure
Oh, yeah.
it out. Have I memorized it? No.
No.
Well, I know the first.
Yeah.
I know the preamble.
Yeah.
and the
The
ending,
core of it.
the core of it, but all that stuff in the middle, the
Yeah.
charges against George III
Yeah,
and so
yes,
forth.
yeah. Yeah.
I never read that.
I know I'm interviewing you, but I have a little story to tell you.
Okay.
When I was at Hillsdale College, Maggie Thatcher was a visitor on campus.
Oh, really?
And we had a rare book room in the library, and as a special on this special event, we got a very early copy of the Declaration of Independence for display purposes in a rare book room.
Really?
Yes, and it was kind of funny because some of the people at Hillsdale insisted on showing her, Maggie Thatcher, this document of the Declaration. And later, one of the faculty members said, it's kind of like showing your ex the divorce papers.
Yeah, right. Well, on the other hand, the guest of honor at the bicentennial celebration in Philadelphia in 19,
Whoops, we're losing our flag.
it's still
Yeah.
standing.
Yeah.
In 1976 was Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, she came to terms.
Yes.
After 200 years, you know, it's time
Yeah.
to get rid of grudges.
Yes. Yeah.
And now Great Britain is our closest allies.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that you've written children's books and award-winning books on the Holocaust, and you've done some film work with Holocaust survivors. Are you continuing your work on Jefferson, or what's your next project? What are you working on?
Well, actually, two things. The book you mentioned on the Holocaust is going into, I think, the 5th printing.
No.
It'll be out in by January. It will be the 70th anniversary edition commemorating the liberation of Auschwitz.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And Tova Friedman, one of the women I interviewed for the book, is speaking at the January series at Calvin.
Oh,
Did I
I see.
mention that to you?
No.
So she'll be coming here. She may be staying at our house.
Oh, yeah. How old is she?
She is 75.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She'll be 76 by then. But she was the youngest child to survive Auschwitz.
Oh.
She was 6 when she was
Oh,
liberated.
yeah.
So I just sent off some corrections and footnotes to the publisher this week.
Yeah.
So that's one project. The other is a PBS project, another one that I'm doing called Inventing America, which is a series of scripted conversations with the founding fathers. It's patterned after a show Steve Allen did about 30 years ago called Meeting of Minds, where he interviewed people from the past, played by actors.
Mm-hmm.
The project I'm working on is simply a way to tell the story of the United States through its founders and other leaders, and they're played by actors as well, using words they actually spoke
Oh,
or
yes,
wrote
yeah.
as much as possible, but putting them into a conversational format, and then the conversation is led or moderated by someone from the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
For the pilot, our own dear friend and neighbor, Mark Bayer, is going to be the host and narrator.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
see where it goes.
Yeah,
from there.
yeah, good. Yeah. So you continue your interest in Jefferson. And,
Yeah, I still have
You
a
may-
book on the shelf that I started
Yeah.
years ago, but it's
Yeah.
been interrupted so many times.
oh, yeah.
And, so much stuff has come out on Jefferson that I wondered, what can I really
Oh,
say
yeah.
that's new,
Yeah,
fresh?
yeah.
It may wind up as a children's book. I'll have to boil it down.
Oh, yeah.
I've been diverted
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
time and again, even though my claim to fame, such as it is, my 15 minutes, is due to my work on the Holocaust. My first love is American history,
Oh, yeah.
particularly the Revolutionary War.
Mm-hmm.
So, this Holocaust thing was kind of a fluke.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any more about it
Yeah.
than anybody else when I started.
So instead of the 50 stars and stripes here, we probably should have had 13. Huh?
Yeah, we used to have a Betsy Ross flag with the 13 stars. Oops, pole is coming.
So I'll just hold it like this.
But somewhere along the line it disappeared. We had a house fire 19 years ago. And so it might have
Yeah.
been destroyed in that.
Yeah.
But you know, this is current. It's 50 stars.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
This is who we are today.
There it is, folks. What's your message to your neighbors in Idlewood Beach?
Keep the faith. We're going through hard times as a republic. We have a dysfunctional Congress. But it's not the first time.
Yeah.
We'll get through this phase. We just can't lose sight of who and what we are as Americans and the principles that were espoused in the Declaration of Independence.
There we are. Yeah.
And we need to hold true to our Constitution.
There we go.
Our two founding documents.
That's a wrap.
If we're faithful to those, everything else will take care of itself.
Okay. All right. So, we're just about finished here, I would say.
You may send the check to my agent.
And
You don't think I do this for free, do you?
here's a photo for your family. Here, hold the other end of this flag. So, here we are. And may the 4th be with you.